All right, I'm going to repeat it again. Today we're going to do the lower half of the leg, and then tomorrow we're going to review and then diagram quiz on Thursday. Cool. All right, excellent. So let's start off with just the tibia and the fibula. The tibia, this bone, and the fibula would be the bone on the lateral side. So this is medial. I should have said that. This is the medial bone of the lower leg, and this is the lateral bone, the fibula of the lower leg. The tibia is the, I don't want to say only, but it's basically the only structural support of the lower leg. The fibula, as my professor up at SDSU would say, it's useless. It's the useless bone on the side of your leg. It's not entirely useless. There is some use to it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have it. But essentially, it doesn't do a whole lot. And we can also see the medial and lateral malleolus. So the malleolus, I don't know if you can make that plural, but the malleoluses are the, like if you feel your ankle, they're the bumps on the side of your ankle. So take a guess which one's medial. If I pointed here, would be the medial malleolus, and that right there would be the lateral malleolus. Easy enough. So the malleoluses are the bumps on your ankle. What bone is the lateral malleolus on? The fibula. Yep. Okay. Got that. Medial and lateral condyle. I added that yesterday to the tibia. Same thing. Medial condyle, lateral condyle. Same thing as the femur, so it's not too terribly hard. Did I say condyle? Oh, okay. Cool. So, yep, just like the femur, the medial and lateral condyle are it's the spot where it articulates with the knee. So, tibial tuberosity. It's this right here. As you get older, it grows for most people, but it's like when you're crawling on the ground, like on your hands and knees, it's the bump that your leg touches. It's like the part of your leg that touches the ground. So it's right there. There's a bump. And that's where all of your muscles on the front, do you know what these are called? Like the grouping of muscles on the front? What do you call that? On your femur. Your quads. That's where all your quads attach to. The tibial, tibial tuberosity. Well, I should say most that they attach near it, but we'll just say they attach to it. Any questions on that? Pretty easy. You can feel it on yourself. So if you need to, touch your tibia. Okay. What bone is highlighted in green here? The metatarsal, yep. The first metatarsal, actually, but you don't need to know that. So these would be like your hand. It looks awfully similar, you know, a little different, but it's awfully similar. These would be your tarsals right here, the smaller bones, which are more proximal on your body. Then we have the metatarsals, which are the longer. They almost look like they could be the toes, but the toes actually start here. So the metatarsals, the longer bones. And then what would this particular bone be? It's part of the phalange. Proximal phalanx. Yep. So, like your hand, your foot and your hand are extremely similar. Like your hand, there's proximal, middle, and distal phalanx on the phalange. So the entire toe is the phalange. The knuckle, I guess not the knuckle, but the bones that make up the knuckle are the phalanx. Which one's the big toe? Wow, that's a dumb question. How do I want to say this? Note that there's only two phalanxes on your big toe. Same thing with your thumb. There's only two. There's not a third knuckle in there. So what would this one be called? Okay, cool. All right. These are the 3 specific bones I want to cover of the, what grouping is this? So this is a sideways view. Yeah, this is the medial side of the foot. These bones right here. So what is this group of bones called? I'm trying to box it in. The tarsals, right. And so the 3 tarsals that I want you to know are the talus, which is highlighted in green on this picture. I couldn't get a good picture of the calcaneus or navicular that are highlighted, but those would be this one and that one. So talus, calcaneus, navicular. About the talus is the bone that articulates with, what bone is this? Tibia, right? Because the tibia, so it's coming straight down onto up. So everybody can see the tibia comes straight down onto the talus itself, and that's what gives it support. It needs to be directly in line with it to give the best structural support, because if it's offset, then any pressure on the foot, so if the foot's like this, any pressure on the foot would be coming kind of this way and not directly through the bone itself. That's why the fibula doesn't have much support, is because it's offset from that talus. Does that make sense? I'm going to have everybody come up here in a minute. I'm going to make you. You're welcome. So the talus is the bone that articulates with the tibia. The calcaneus is your heel bone. It's large, I would say. It's the largest bone in the foot. It's the largest bone in the foot. What else can I talk about? It's the heel bone. There's a big tendon that comes off of this. Does anybody know what tendon this is? What's that? Achilles, yep. It's also known as the calcaneal tendon, which I don't know. You could use either when we get to muscles. You won't need that right now. But the calcaneal tendon comes off. Fun fact about the calcaneal tendon, sometimes, in certain cases, tear your ACL, they can use a part of a cadaver's calcaneal tendon for your ACL, and it's actually about three times as strong as your original ACL. So it's a really thick tendon. Then our last one, the navicular, that gets its name from boating. Is that correct, Mr. McKinney?
Yes, it's Latin for boat.
It's Latin for boat. So that's where it gets its name, the navicular. That's a good question. I don't know why it's.
If you turn it on its side, it's got a cup shape like this. So when you're looking down on top of it, and you put that groove in there, it looks like a boat.
If you have your books open on 246, it's the superior view of the foot, and you can see the navicular, and it has that cup shape. My mom actually recently had foot surgery, where her, if you're looking at the book, we don't have to know it, but her navicular and her medial cuneiform had fused together because she walks funny. She walks, so I don't know if if you can remember how you walk. Most people walk. I gotta walk now. Outside in. Yep. Most people walk outside in, but she walks inside out. That makes sense. And a tendon had pulled on it and damaged the way she walks. That damaged that area, and the bones to heal fused together. So I had to go in there and cut those bones apart. So that's fun.
Sometimes the bones can be pulled out of their sockets too.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
that's what happens, because if you tear that tendon on
Yep. Can anybody tell me what structure this is? Structure. Huh? Speak up. So this is the tibia. And this is the ankle, right? This joint here. What?
That's the medial.
Malleolus. Yep. The medial malleolus. So we can see it right here. The medial malleolus. Doesn't look like a protrusion, but this area would be it. Okay, I thought that was it. Moving back, just one more. Anterior crest. I forgot that. Did I forget anything else after that? No, I think that's it. So anterior crest. If you feel your knee or your shin, that sharp part. So the sharp part of your shin is the anterior crest. Yeah. I don't know if anybody watches like UFC or MMA or any sort of boxing. Well, when I think you're talking about when they break their legs and it wraps around. That's crazy. Anderson Silva had a really bad one, if you're curious, of on a checked kick. But anyway, to strengthen that part to avoid a leg break in a fight, these guys will kick. Well, they'll start off small, but eventually they can kick trees. They'll just whap on a tree. And that creates microfractures in the bone, and they give it enough time to heal. So like a muscle, I don't know if you're familiar with building muscle, you tear your muscles. When you're lifting, you're tearing your muscles. And when they tear, they build back stronger. They're in your body. It's like, oh, I need this muscle more. That means I need to build it back stronger. Same thing with the leg. So if you create a bunch of microfractures in here, it'll build back stronger. But sometimes that's not the case. Like, I don't know, Conor McGregor, his fight with Daniel Cormier, something like that. He had a fracture in his bone, and he didn't give it enough time to heal. He had stepped back, and it cracked. So that's fun. Yeah, if you want to watch some crazy, crazy leg breaks, it's good. Yeah, it was after he kicked, so they don't know what did it in. But if you want to watch, those have the, I don't know if you want to call them the best, but the most dramatic showings of breakages. So you can really see. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, they don't even realize right away. They try and step back.
That's the worst part. I don't like that part. But speaking of injuries, have you guys ever seen an Achilles tear? Like, who was that really bad one? He was a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers had one. Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking way back in the day, where he showed. Yeah, they'll step, and if they get a good enough shot of the calf, you'll see that tendon break, and their calf muscle pulls up into. Same thing with like. Well, now we're getting onto biceps, but like you ever see like heavy lifters when they're pushing up, and their pec tears, and it sucks into here. So it's pretty awesome. Anyway, back on subject. I'm gonna make you all look at the foot. I'm gonna move back here though. All right, everybody get up. Come on over here. All right, I'm gonna quiz everybody. Yep, it's not a big deal, or it's not gonna be too terribly hard. We're just gonna start here and work our way around the circle. Nobody move. Bone. Tibia. Okay. Structure. What's this? Or how about this? Let's do this one. Yep.
I don't even know it.
That's all right. That's all right. That's why we're doing it.
Like a tibial.
Tibial tuberosity. That's a bump right here, Johnny.
That one's like,
The art.
can I do
Nope.
this one?
So what side is it on? Hey, she got it. Somebody's got it. Somebody said it. The crest. What side of the bone is it on? The anterior crest.
That was my answer question.
Can I do the flip phone?
So anterior crest, right? Structure. What side are we on?
Oh, lateral.
Oh, you got it. Starts with an M. Nope. Help. Lateral malleolus. Oh goodness, I got confused. Malleolus. Yep. Lateral malleolus. Medial malleolus. Bone.
Bro, that's one away.
Fibula.
Don't ask me about the structures if there's one.
Bone.
Oh, those are phalanges, right?
Particular
the
bone.
Distal phalanx.
Distal phalanx. Want to try? Give it a shot. Grouping of bones. You got it. So, okay. Do you remember what these ones are? Carpals. Drive your car. Carpals. Your wheels touch the ground. The tarsals. This is how I learned it in high school. So you're driving on tar. I don't know. They use tar on roads. The wheels are touching the tar. You're driving. Stupid. So how did he explain it?
Makes sense to me.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. All right. You drive your car with your hands. Carpals. Your tires touch the tarsals. That work? It might work for some people. It worked for me. Tarsals on the ground. Carpals driving your car. Ready? Bone.
Starts with a C.
Does.
Calcaneus.
Yes, calcaneus. What's the grouping of bones it's in?
The heel.
I just said it. Tarsals. Yep, the tarsals.
What's this one again? That.
It's that bone.
I don't remember what it
It's
is.
that bone. Starts with a T. Talus. Yep. What's the last bone? Specific bone. It's this one right here.
That's the, yeah, that's the N.
Navicular.
What are they?
Navicular.
Talus.
Oh, yes.
That one.
Talus is the one that articulates with the heel, or tibia, excuse me. So there's a gap in between there, but if everybody can see it, it's the bone that
So this
touches this. Yep. Talus. That's the, what's, yeah. Say that again? The talus. Okay. Move back around. What's that? That touch structure. Medial condyle. Lateral condyle. There we go. We're learning. All right, we're going to move back up here. It's this. Okay. Yeah, iliac crest. The iliac crest right here. Right here. It's this structure. It's all right. Anybody? Close. That's the humor. So tubercle is a small bump. A trochanter is a large bump. Greater trochanter. It's this right here. It's connection in between the two bones. Okay, what bones am I touching specifically? The pubic bones. Yes, it is. Any help? Symphysis. Yes, very close. If you say synthesis, don't say synthesis. Try not to. But if you're like, I know it's an S word, I know it means to come together. Synthesis. Symphysis. But yes. Pubic symphysis right here. The part where they come together. What hold is this? It does. It's a tough word. Okay. It's a foramen, yep. Yep. Obturator. Obturator foramen. Okay. On to you. What's this? You can move around if you need to. What's this?
Is that another crest?
No. Something we added to structure. Yeah, I know. It is a notch. Which notch?
The greater something notch.
Yep. Greater sciatic notch right here. Right there. It's not the best way to show it because you can't see it very well, but that's okay. Bone. Try. Got it. Nothing. You got nothing. Nothing's going on in there. Yeah, me too. It happens. Anybody? Femur. Yep. It's the strongest bone in your body. It's harder than concrete. Right here.
The head of the femur.
Head of the femur.
I don't remember.
The patella. Yep. Also known as the kneecap. Don't put kneecap, it's the patella. But yes, it's also known as the kneecap. What's this structure that the head of the femur fits into it? Starts with an A. Yeah, not far off. Acetabulum. It's the acetabulum. So I should get the other ones out, but it's the structure that the head of the femur fits into, like a glove. What's? Oh, you weren't here. I'm sorry for quizzing you. Now that I realize. Okay, we're gonna skip you because you weren't here. That's right. I'm sure you watched the video, but you know, it's this. All right, the structure right here. So you sit on it. It's the thing you sit on. Okay, what are the three bones of? Okay, what's this entire structure thing called? This grouping of bones. Starts with the O. Oscoxa. O-S-C-O-X-A. Oscoxa. What are the three bones of the oscoxa? Ilium, ischium, and pubis. Somebody point to each of those.
Ilium's the top one.
Okay.
The pubis is the one right there.
Yep. Ilium's the one on top. Ischium's the one on the bottom you sit on, and the pubis is the one in the front. I don't know if that helps anybody, but it's kind of how it is. So back to the question. So what bone is it? The ischium. Also is the same as this. Yeah, let's see if I can. Is it the ischial tuberosity? Ring a bell? No, ischial tuberosity. So, ischial tuberosity, you can move around. It's right here. It's the thing you sit on. Okay. Linea aspera. Point to it. Touch it. Somebody touch it. It is on the femur. Other side, posterior. Yep. Linea aspera. Point to the medial epicondyle of the femur, either or. There you go. Lateral condyle of the femur. Yeah, you got it. You can point to the lesser trochanter. Oh, trick question. That's not a trick question. Wait, no, it is. It is. Oh, I'm so silly. I'm thinking of the humerus. I'm like, oh no, it's. Never mind. I thought it was on the back side. I'm like, oh, it's on the back side. I'm gonna get him. Somebody point to, no, not somebody, you Presley. Point to the navicular. Oh, hey, look at that, right there. The navicular it is. Medial malleolus. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yep, there it is. Somebody explain to me the difference between medial and lateral. Yep, yep. So if I had a midline right here, it's not very straight. Midline right here. Anything towards this side is medial, this side is lateral. Calcaneus. Boom, there it is.
Defies gravity.
He does.
Doesn't crush it.
He must. Let's go with metatarsal. Boom, there it is. Patella. Kneecap. There you go. So feel your kneecap. Everybody feel their kneecap? What's that also known as? Patella. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, mine does too. Speaking of that, speaking of injuries, we're just on injuries today. Have you ever seen when like the patella gets dislocated? Oh.
There was some guy that like put his back in there.
Yeah, you can. It comes off to the side. It's incredibly painful until they put it back, and you're like, "Oh, I'm fine," unless you tear something. But I have seen it outside. It could, I guess, pop inside, but usually I see it go on the outside. It's not good.
I was wondering why this had a bump on this side and that one didn't.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, you can like move it around
Yep.
when you're sitting.
Yep. Tibial tuberosity. Tibial tuberosity. Got your thumb on it. Yep, that's it. So, I don't know if this helps, but like, if you can feel, I bet you can't. Feel your patella, right? And then go just distal of your patella, and that's where it's at. So if you flex your quad, you can feel. Yes, it's also the bump. Mine's not very pronounced. Not really.
Don't you have a
Personally.
tendon on that?
You actually have a ligament. So, not to confuse you, but so quads come to the patella, attach to the patella. Patella attaches to tibial tuberosity. Kind of, it's hazy and debated. But, so this would be the patellar ligament. This would be the patellar tendon. So, bone to muscle tendon, bone to bone ligament. So, yeah, essentially. Same sort of thing. One more. Anterior crest. Okay, let's break it down. So, what side of the body is the anterior side? The front. Yeah. Okay. So, what's the like the antagonist? Yeah. It's the opposite. What's the opposite of anterior? There you go. There's the word. Posterior. And a lot of people say posterior as your butt on the back side. So posterior. The opposite is anterior. So front side. All right, we got it. Crest. So what do you think of a crest? Think of a mountain or it's going to be a kind of a line, right? A sharp peak. So we're looking for a pointed or angled. You know, guys know what I'm saying with crest? Yeah. So comes to a point-ish, and it's on the anterior side. And I'll give you a hint, it's on the tibia. You can feel it out if you need to. Yep, right there. So everybody, well, I bet you felt it on your own body, but feel this on the tibia. You can see it comes to like a ridge or a crest. Okay. All right, very good. And if anybody wants to look at this, I'll just leave it here for a little bit. Uh-huh.
Working his farm. They had dairy cattle, and I think a cow kicked him from the side and took his patella all the way out.
Oh, jeez. That is.
Needless to say, he had a bad
I'm sure, yeah.
out of his skin, or like out of, I don't know if it came all the way out.
Goodbye.
I